Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to the video. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 stocks I'm looking to trade this upcoming week. Also updating last week's picks, how they performed, and the updated thesis on those stock picks. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and look at last week's picks. Okay, so the first stock I talked about last week was Discovery, ticker symbol DISCA. So this is a heavily beat down stock, heavily shorted as well. We talked about having a potential short squeeze, and Discovery also did have earnings this past week. So they didn't end up missing earnings, but the stock did hold up well afterwards, having a nice bounce. I personally do think this was an overreaction, as earnings results were not bad at all. They just did not exceed expectations like some thought. So for that reason, it did drop, but it did recover nicely. And overall, I do still like this as a swing a lot. One of my favorite plays personally. I did add more on this dip, and I do think we break out of $40 soon. So this is one that I'm still holding strong and added this past week on the dip. So next up, we talked about some of the cannabis sector plays. First up, Tilray, ticker symbol TLRY, had a nice balance and continuation this past week. It is looking strong, and I still am looking for $20 on this stock. Aurora Cannabis, another one with a nice balance, looking strong here as well. And with Sundial and Canopy Growth, they did continue their reversal some, and they are holding and consolidating around this level. So all of these, in my personal opinion, do look strong, and the sector does have more room to bounce, in my personal opinion. So Discovery showing strength after that earnings dip. Great sign, especially with all the earnings overreaction this past week. Discovery held up a lot better than the rest. And the cannabis sector as a whole did continue to bounce this past week. It is looking strong for a further reversal, so I'm still on these trades, and I still do like all of these a lot as swings. Alright, so now getting into the stocks that I'm watching to play this upcoming week. First one being Coinbase, ticker symbol COIN. So of course, Coinbase was an IPO this past month, had a ton of hype leading in, and since then we've seen a sell-off ever since the beginning of the day that it did go public. So taking a look at the setup, we can see that ever since it did IPO, it has pretty much sold off slowly ever since. So zooming in a little bit, this has formed an inverse head and shoulders over the past couple weeks, and it is starting to test the breakout of this downtrend. So in my opinion, if it breaks and holds above 300 as a key psychological support and resistance level, if it breaks above 300 and holds, I do think we could see a big run from Coinbase very soon. And take a look at this volume. So on IPO day, of course, massive volume. And ever since then, the volume has been decreasing very, very slowly. And over the past week, it has been under 500K volume each day, which is crazy for a stock that was so hyped up and got so many people excited about. The volume has been close to nothing on a lot of these days. So when stuff like this happens, slow sell-offs on very low volume, the first day that real volume comes in, there's going to be a big pop in my personal opinion. If we get a day with over 1 million or 2 million volume, I think we see a big move from Coinbase. It's just all about volume with this play because there's been such little volume, such little buyers coming in. It's just been slow sell-off with very little demand. When buyers do come in and when the volume does come in, I think we see a pop and a breakout out of that inverse head and shoulders and potentially a very big move coming soon. So an upcoming catalyst that they do have is the first quarter of 2021, their earnings call, which is going to be on May 13th. So they also have already put out their estimates for their results from the first quarter, with their estimates being verified users of 56 million, monthly transaction users of 6.1 million, assets on the platform at 223 billion, representing 11.3% of the total crypto asset market share. Also the trading volume of 335 billion, total revenue of approximately $1.8 billion, net income between 730 and 800 million, and also adjusted EBITDA of approximately 1.1 billion. So judging by the fact that they did put out these estimates in April, and the earnings are going to contain the first quarter, which is January through March, the estimates are probably very accurate. So what the earnings results and the earnings movement in the stock is going to come down to is their forward outlook. Now these past couple months in April and May, we've seen such a big jump in all the hype behind crypto and the popularity, so many crypto assets, altcoins, and everything else. In my opinion, a good chance of what's going to happen is they're going to give a forward outlook, and this can be a lot bigger than people were expecting just because of the rising popularity these past couple months. Everything has been taking off. So in my opinion, there's going to be a good chance for their forward estimates being big because of the popularity and all the craziness we've seen happen over the past couple months. So earnings, in my opinion, is something that's going to get a run up and acting as a catalyst and could potentially break out the stock if they do give out that big forward outlook. Alright, so the next stock I'm liking a lot this upcoming week is iSun, ticker symbol ISUN. So this is a very small company trading at about a $90 million market cap. And taking a look at the technical setup, first off, we can see that this stock does have very strong support at $10 per share. It has bounced twice up there already and getting ready to test that strong support level once again. So there is a good chance to see a bounce here. And also the setup has been forming a descending triangle for a while now. And there is going to be a good chance for a big move, either downwards or upwards, either a breakout or a breakdown. So we are going to see a big move this upcoming week, in my personal opinion. chances are I do think we get a bounce off that $10 support, but just in case, out of my stop loss under 10 if it was to break down. But there are some very good things going on about this company and is very undervalued in my personal opinion. So taking a look at their last quarter earnings, which were a blowout compared to estimates, their fourth quarter revenue of $9.3 million was up 47.1% year over year, driven by a ton of new contract wins. Also, they strengthened the balance sheet and they are now up to $21 million in a cash balance. So $21 million in cash, that is over 20% of their total market cap just in cash. And compare that cash to debt, we can see that their total debt outstanding is $4.5 million and their total cash is $21 million. So $21 million minus $4.5 million, that would be $17.5 million, which is pretty much 20% of that $90 million market cap. So their assets as a whole make up such a large part of that market cap, which is huge for a company that's as small as this. And they also have a big backlog. The company has big things going on with the solar industry. They have a backlog of contracts up to $61 million, which they do expect to convert to revenue in this 2021 year. And also they stated during the last conference call that they do expect to double revenue in 2021 compared to 2020. With the company just trading at a $90 million market cap, with all these contracts underway, the company having positive net income, and that very healthy cash to debt ratio, I think the stock is very, very undervalued. And with this technical setup setting up for a potential breakout, I do think we see a big move very, very soon. They also are expecting to have their earnings in early June, so about a month out. And we definitely could see a run up on excitement towards that date, as from just excitement from their last earnings, they had a big beat. I think we could see that once again, and investors will realize that traders for a potential run up to that earnings date. And with this stock sitting right at support, potential breakout on deck, I like this setup a lot. I would not enter if it's below $10. I would wait for it to find support, but I do think the stock is very undervalued and it will make a big move very soon in my personal opinion. So the final stock I'm watching this upcoming week is Twitter, ticker symbol TWTR. So they had their earnings last Thursday and this resulted in a huge drop. Just taking a look at the long-term chart though, we can see this stock has been on a steady uptrend all year. All dips have gone bought up so far, but taking a look, we can see that it has held this trend line during every dip. And once again, it's nearing this trend line, which is sitting at about $50 to $4 on support right about now. So like I was saying, Twitter is a stock that does have a lot of overreaction sell-offs and big sell-offs, but they do usually get bought up as we've seen in this past year. And overall, Twitter is a stock that's hated by a lot of investors and traders just because of the business model, the freedom of speech stuff, and everything like that. But this usually does result in the stock having big overreaction dips, like we're seeing right now in my personal opinion. Earnings were not that bad, and we'll look at that in just a second. But what I could see happening is we could see another day or so of selling, and then a potential bounce and reversal off this trend line. Alright, so with earnings, the big reason why we did see this dip is Twitter guided that it is expecting revenue between $980 million and $1.08 billion on average during the second quarter, and analysts were expecting guidance of $1.06 billion on average. So their guidance is a little bit below estimates, and with this market, of course, you need to blow out earnings for the stock to go up. We've seen Apple, Amazon, both have crazy good earnings, and the stocks touched the red the next day, which was crazy, but Twitter did fall shy of expectations. Also, their monetizable daily users grew by 7 million from the fourth quarter to 199 million total, but also fell shy of the analysts' expectations of 200 million. Their earnings were 16 cents per share versus 14 cents forecast, which was a slight beat of about 2 cents, and the revenue was 1.04 billion versus 1.03 billion, which is also about right in line with these expectations. So like I was saying, Twitter is just a hated stock, and this does result in a lot of overreactions, which I think this is one as well. And we could see a big bounce and reversal off this level after this big sell-off, just because earnings were not that bad. They were pretty much close to in line with expectations. And in my opinion, for Twitter, this is just a big overreaction. I would not be surprised to see a balance of about 5 to 10% off this level within the next couple weeks. Alright, so those are the stocks I'm watching and looking to play this upcoming week. Coinbase, ticker symbol COIN. iSun, ticker symbol ISUN, and then also Twitter, ticker symbol TWTR. I'm not looking for blind entries on these. For Coinbase, I'm watching for that volume spike, and I do think we could see a run up towards that earnings date. For iSun, I'm looking for it to hold that $10 support level. If it does drop below, I'll be patient and wait for it to find its next support. For Twitter, I'm looking for it to show balance strength and strength off that uptrending trend line, which we'll see if it holds or not. So real quick, I do want to talk about some ideas I'm looking to do on this channel moving forward. So I do want to start up a couple trading series which we'll talk about in just a second. But overall, for the past few months, this channel has been focused on swing trading ideas and stuff like that over the weekend, the top 3 stock picks. It's definitely been my main focus as a trader for the past few months, but I do want to shift to a couple more new ideas, which I do plan on keeping these top 3 stock videos on the channel, but I also do want to start up a penny stock series and also an selling options strategy series. So with the penny stock series, I'm going to start with a very small account, try to grow that using penny stocks, which I'll classify with any stock under a $500 million market cap or so. And for the OGs who have been watching this channel for a while now, you know this channel started with a bunch of penny stock picks. I did stop that because it was affecting the penny stock prices. They would kind of pump and dump on their own. But I'm going to be playing with very small positions on that account. Of course, we'll talk about the high risk, high reward aspects of that and just trying to grow that. And I do think it will be entertaining. And of course, I know that you guys like the penny stock videos. They do get a lot of views. And I do think it will just kind of be kind of fun overall. And also with the options trading series, the main focus on that one is going to be selling options. Very consistent, very safe, less risky plays with selling options. We'll talk about all the strategies used behind that and how you can actually grow your account very nicely and in a very safe way, selling options, selling puts and selling calls, and we'll be growing the account that way through there. So the penny stock series and the option series is going to be coming soon to the channel. Right now, the market is just very tough. It's so up and down, so choppy right now. So it's very tough to be swing trading in this market just because it's up one day, then it's down the next. And it's just tough to have these technical setups play out and everything like that. So I do think we can have some fun with this penny stock and option series, see where it goes, make some money along the way, and it'll definitely be entertaining nonetheless. Alright, so that's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you are interested in joining the private Discord chat, the link is down below. Every time I buy and sell a stock, I send an alert to the group, answer any questions you have. I send out watch lists every night and everything like that. So if you're interested in that, that link is the first link in the description. Also, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It does help me a lot. I'll greatly appreciate that. Alright, so thank you for watching the video all the way through. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to trade smart this week, and let's get rich.